Alright, my friends, it is going to be a short video, but a very important video. October 13th, 2022. For those of you that don't know, Papua New Guinea just got slammed with a 6.6 earthquake. I even saw 6.7 readings. It has now been downgraded to a 6.4, but we all know what that means. And that means to take it with a grain of salt, because chances are it was probably much closer to that 6.7 region. We also have it labeled here on the USGS as a 6.4, taking place just about an hour and a half ago. Now, there's something interesting about this earthquake, but before we get into that, my friends, I want to show you something that we've been looking into here on this channel for a while now, and this is some weird phenomenon going on. There are a lot of people trying to figure out what exactly these things are. Now, you're looking at a streaking object that looks like it's coming from the sun, but I can assure you that it's not. This thing is actually passing behind the sun. Now, I took a still frame of this image. We've been posting videos about this for days now. You could see it in the video feed on the channel. Feel free to look at any of these videos, but we are looking at some sort of craft or something more along those lines than space rocks, because some of the shapes that these things have been taking are actually quite incredible. We could see another one here back from May. We spoke about this one in a video previously on the channel, but take a look at this. We have two separate objects right here with two distinct different tails. Now, as we zoom back out, we can see that this thing shot straight through a solar flare, not coming from the sun itself, of the eastern part of the sun or the right side of the sun, based on how you want to look at it via the SDO cameras. The month of May seemed to be a pretty big hotspot for these things taking place. Now, the original image you can see right here from HelioViewer, the southeastern edge of the sun is right here, and the object was way out here, so I enhanced it. I brought it up into these zoomed in images, and you can see clear-cut structure to these things. Here is another view of it, a little bit wider, so you could see the tail. Again, not even close to where the sun is, so these are not coming from the sun. These are something else, and they do not look like space rocks. These look like they have different types of formation to them, some of them in 3D. Here is another big one that we posted on this channel just days ago. Look at this thing. What is going on off the upper right side of whatever this object is? I can tell you right now, I do not believe these are space rocks. These things are very frequent, and they're often seen around the sun. Now, don't worry, I'm going to get back into that earthquake in 1 second, as it was a very significant earthquake for Papua New Guinea. Look at this disc-shaped object shooting to the left side of the sun. As I zoom back out and scroll up, we can see there is what looks to be almost like lights on the outside of it. I can't conclude that, obviously. That is for you to determine. Here is another great shot of one passing behind the sun during a major solar eruption. If we zoom in here, you can clearly see that there is shape to this one as well. And then also back in May, I found one that actually looks like it has 3D structure to it. Take a look at this. Different cylinder shapes. We see some indents here. We see another part of whatever this is on top, almost like it's layered on top, almost like a separate layer leading up to a much bigger mass on the top here. We've explained this in other videos. That's why I'm going through this fairly quickly. I will point you in the direction of the videos I have that explain these in depth, but my goodness, just take a look at what's going on here. And then finally, one of the big ones that a lot of YouTube channels picked up on and tried figuring out and analyzing was this one right here. I cannot help but think that this thing has a saucer-like shape to it. You can see different color lights around the edge of it, and then we have almost that dome-looking UFO shape. Dare I say UFO? By definition, unidentified flying object. I am not telling you what to think. I am asking for your opinions, my friends. Here is another one shooting right across the sun on a different spectrum of the SDO camera, streaking across the front side of the sun and then leaving these weird beams of light that I then enhanced up in this part of the picture. And just what are we looking at here? What could this possibly be? What are we looking at going on around our sun? This research will absolutely continue, and I will be digging into this more and more. If you guys capture anything like this, please feel free to send it to the contact information in the channel. It's always in there, into-thinairnews@gmail.com, and I'll gladly feature these on a video. But let's get back to that earthquake real quick. So once again, we are dealing with a 6.4 downgraded from a 6.7, a very large earthquake, about 151 kilometers east-southeast of Kokopo, Papua New Guinea. Now, we tend to get very large earthquakes in this area, but the interesting thing is the timing. Now, we've been looking at space weather here for a while now, and I want to show you something. If we take a look at the GOES X-ray flux chart, this measures the CME strength coming off the sun, and if you look back on the 11th, we had two very strong M-class solar flares back to back, which is pretty rare on its own, but what this does is it basically multiplies the energy that's going to hit the magnetic field of Earth, and in turn, proven by different studies, which we've also talked about on the channel, can cause earthquakes. Now, it just so happens that this took place on the 11th. This energy takes about 2 days to get to Earth. 2 days later would be the 13th, which is today, and then all of a sudden, my friends, we are starting to see large earthquakes. So the science is there. I'm not saying that this earthquake was directly caused by the solar wind from those two M-class flares. The data lines up, and these quote-unquote coincidences are continuing to happen. So don't be surprised if we start seeing large earthquakes over the next 24 hours. We also had a very large earthquake in New Zealand today, a 5.7. It's been a while since New Zealand's had a large earthquake of that size. They do happen, but for these to happen during a time where we are expecting solar wind to come from those M-class flares just makes it that much more interesting. All right, my friends, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Sorry it was a late one, but I really thought this information was important to bring to you guys tonight because we are beginning to see science-based issues taking place with our sun and the Earth. Now, how intense will that get? That is anyone's guess, but I will be here to bring it all to you. And last but not least, please go check out our Maryland meteors and earthquakes videos that I had just posted. Very interesting video on Maryland being a hotspot for not only meteors, but now earthquakes. All right, my friends, shout out to Canada. I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.